Good afternoon. My name is Jack Webb, and welcome back to Discography, your weekly musical biography. And that was Planet Claire, and we'd like to welcome you back here to the Two Townies Talk Show. I'm Jack Webb.
And welcome to your source for Eagle Sports, WOCR 89.1 The One. I'm Jack Webb.
And I'd like to welcome you all to yet another episode of Jack's Classics. We are Olivet's classical music show on Olivet's one and only radio station, WOCR 89.1 The One. I'm your host, Jack Webb. Thank you so much for joining me this week. We then cut to the open range, where the boys are singing the tune to the song that we all know to be the unofficial yet kind of official song of New Year's, Auld Lang Syne, because, again, it's a new year. Unfortunately, this new year gets off to a bad start. As the boys leave their boss to go roam the open field, Murphy's men sneak up behind him and shoot at him. John Tunstall is dead. The next scene takes place at his funeral, with Dick Brewer reciting a passage from the Holy Bible. Alex, who is their lawyer, begs an official to allow the boys to be deputized, since they no longer have anything to do. The leader of their posse had just been slain. Eventually, they do get their badges, and are now men of the law. However, as they go out to solve their first case, Billy gets ahead of himself. When Brewer tells him to go ahead and look, he goes in, and instead of arresting the culprits, in the words of Danny DeVito, he starts blasting. The rest of the boys go in, and after they get done, Doc reads a news report about the situation. Billy has been identified as the leader of this gang, but most importantly, he has been labeled as Billy the Kid for the very first time. You are tuned into Jack's Classics. The time now is 1:03 p.m., and it's time to kick off this episode with the piece of the week. So, this week, we have a piece that I saw performed live this past weekend. And yes, I do mean live. And although it was only one movement of a larger work, a symphony to be specific, I was still in absolute awe by what I was seeing and hearing. You see, I'm a member of the choir here at the University of Olivet, and we all got the opportunity to be a part of a larger choir and perform several songs in honor of our country and our veterans. This was done in conjunction with the Battle Creek Symphony, and they were the ones who I saw perform this. Now, I do not have the actual recording on hand, unfortunately. I do think it will be released at some point. I do know everything was recorded, but this is only 3 days after the actual performance, so unfortunately, nothing from them yet. But this version that I'll play for you now is pretty close to what I actually heard. And yes, I did go through several recordings to try to find the closest one, and I think I got this one here. This is the first movement of a symphony by legendary composer Ludwig van Beethoven. Now, according to Britannica, this symphony was named in honor of Napoleon Bonaparte, who Beethoven actually thought very highly of. However, the site did state that, and I quote, on December 2nd, 1804, Napoleon had named himself Emperor of Europe. Beethoven greeted that news with fury. His hero had become a tyrant who, according to Beethoven, will think himself superior to all men, and the composer would not dedicate a symphony to such a person. So originally, this was named in honor of Napoleon, but after Beethoven found out what his true intentions were, he had to rename his largest instrumental work and premiered it in Vienna 1 year later.